how I've said it, and it's not really the best, and I don't really want to say it, but I mean, like, how much would you pay to time travel 2 years into the future? How much should time traveling cost? Does it cost
Never been asked.
$2,000? Yeah, I'm just saying.
Never been asked. What's going on, everybody? Stubbs here from Retro Handhelds. You're back with the Retro Handhelds podcast, your source for the latest in retro handheld and emulation news. Today, we're having a special offline episode with our good friends Cary Golomb from the Phawx, or you are the Phawx.
That's me.
And
Yes,
Mr. Baldly Rudy of Baldly Rudy fame.
Hi.
Also, my illustrious co-host, Mr. Rob, the Retro Tech Daddy.
Hey, everyone.
You all know him well by now. Today's topic, we want to talk about the state of x86 handhelds. We're here in New York City, hanging out, just chit-chatting handhelds. And we are here with the new GPD Win 5, which I've been very excited to play with today. And Cary says that it might have the best D-pad ever, so we got to talk about that. And how does it compare, honestly, with the Anbernic Win 600? That's what you all really want to know. How many spreadsheets can we load up? We got an Ally X on hand, and even the Claw 8 with its beautiful speakers.
Look at that spread of it.
Does actually really have very nice speakers. Like, the speakers on are sick.
They're
what
good.
What version 4s? What?
I think the V4 rubbers.
V4 rubbers, that's right.
V4
yeah.
rubbers.
V4 rubbers, yeah. I mean, it is excellent. They're really good speakers.
It's true. And also, we're hot on the heels of the release of the Xbox Ally X, which we're not going to get too much into today, but...
And the Legion Go 2.
And the Legion Go 2.
Yep. What else do we have lined
What else is coming out right now? 1X players doing their...
Yeah, we don't know. We haven't heard of it. They just said like a little teaser, but nothing materialized yet.
$395, right?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
$395 and
Yeah,
8-inch screen. Yeah, that's the same screen as the Legion Go S.
Okay, the Legion Go S. So we're looking at an
16
IPS.
Yeah, 16 by 10.
16 by 10, yeah.
Yeah. Which is also very nice.
I liked it.
120 hertz VRR.
Yeah, VRR on that bad boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Still nice.
which is nice.
Yeah.
Now I want to compare that against, like, what do you guys think about streaming right now, like, versus going raw silicone?
But wait, are we talking about streaming from the cloud or streaming on a local network?
Both.
I would say both.
Like, basically, my thing with today is, like, what's the best way to play your Steam library?
Right.
You know? Like,
Natively, in my opinion, natively.
I mean, natively, sure, but you're dealing with heat. You're dealing with
It's
heft.
funny because I'm like, I totally see the appeal of like streaming, and it's getting so good. I show it on my channel all the time, and I'm like, and yet I still like playing natively. There's something about just having the power on hand to be able to play games. Like, I mean, that's something special. Like the 395 in a form factor like that. That's
And I mean, and the 395 itself has been very impressive. I was playing around with that on the ROG Z Flow 13 2025 AI 90 billion.
395, yeah, max.
395 max.
Plus.
This is the guy for the numbers. This is the guy for the. This is the
To
guy.
be fair, that was like not the best naming SKU. Like,
Yeah,
Well,
ever.
this whole generation, all the brands.
the Z2 lineup.
What?
Z2,
What's your problem with
Z2A,
the
Z2 Go, Z2E,
Yeah.
Z2E AI.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all 5 of them, right? Yeah. Like,
There might be a hidden sixth one that we don't know.
like,
What are we doing? What are we doing?
and the best is they're all a mixture of different generations
Yeah, all
of
over the place.
They're it's all over the place. Yeah, I'm like, what are we doing here?
Well, that's something that AMD did with their. It's almost like the Anbernic naming scheme with like their RG 3750, or like they came up with their naming scheme. Remember when Anbernic was like, if it begins with an R, if it ends with a V, it's vertical.
It's
if it ends-
vertical.
Yeah, so that's what Anbernic was like doing. And then when new chipsets came out, they would just increment like this number. Is the diagonal width of the diagonal of the screen in inches. So Anbernic had like a schema that worked out that is like, okay, you can kind of understand just from the naming alone what you're going to get out of it. And AMD kind of did something similar where they had like, okay, it's the 7000 series, which is the 7th generation.
Yeah.
But then the next one can be like a 3, a 5, or a 7. Or and it's like, okay, what is that? It's like, well, if it's a 3, it's actually
remember, like,
a Zen 2.
The chart of where they break down all the numbers and everything. I'm just like, it was already kind of confusing before, and now you've just made it far
Yeah.
more confusing.
Yeah.
And like, this is not an improvement in any way.
It's a way for them to say something's new while selling something old.
Yes, because you have to look at even the Z2 lineup. If you look at that Z2 lineup, how many of those chips have been rebranded? That's
Right, yeah,
they're either bin chips that they're reusing in a different way.
Also, the Z2 Go is garbage. Z2A is Van Gogh. Z2 Go is a weirdo 6800U.
Yeah, I feel like it's a bin 6800U.
That's what it is, and it winds up just being the worst of all worlds. It's a very strange thing, and you can see them as like, hey, what do we do with this crap? I know.
Put it in everything.
Yeah, let's make a stew.
Whatever you. We got a retro stew going over here. That's what's nice. I mean, I don't know, but like handhelds right now are in a kind of funny spot. We're also messing around with all these different form factors. You're seeing clamshells get huge this year.
Yeah.
Like we're not just clamshells. We're going big on dual screens.
Yeah.
All across the board, x86 dual screens, which Ayaneo kind of started on, and now we're looking at Android dual screens, AYN Thor, which looks freaking amazing. Even that, I went hands-on today with Bob Wolf's Thor.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is where it's at.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, the what? The AYN Thor?
Bob Wolf's Thor. That's what
That's
I call
Bob's Wolf.
But Bob Wolf's Thor.
yeah.
Bob Wolf's Thor.
Bob Wolf's Thor.
it.
Yeah.
That's what you call it.
Yeah.
All right, there we go.
It clicked.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
I'm a little jet lagged. We'll see you on the next episode. This has been no.
It was really cool. It was really super.
No,
cool.
it's you know, and
Couldn't believe how small it was.
Yeah.
It was just like, wow.
It's lightweight.
That's impressive.
I mean, it's not much heavier than my Retroid Pocket Flip 2. And it brings me back to the fact, like, why am I not just playing all my Steam games through a streaming experience on a lightweight Android handheld
that was kind of what I
or a
was.
low spec Windows handheld?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was asking you about. Like this, if you take
Look at
the
this
Win
thing.
5 and you take the battery off, you plug it in, then why not just do local streaming or cloud streaming on a device that's
Yeah.
lighter that you don't need to be plugged into like that? So that's the argument. Which way do you go with that? So
Last year, I would have said, no way, Jose. Now, with the decode times we're seeing across the board, Snapdragons, I mean, x86 has always had great decode times in the last 3-4 years, right? But there's near imperceivable latency on the latest gen stuff.
when you're talking about like 1 millisecond native decoding time, that no one's gonna notice that. Yeah, I mean, it's like playing natively basically.
And we've been, making the quip of the fact that Bluetooth latency might be more than your decode times for your streaming. The problem is with streaming is that you're going to mess around with whatever your host PC has going on. You might have to turn on the PC, wake on LAN. You might have to, sign in, or like that distracts you from the experience, and then you're out of the experience. You're like, screw this, I'm going to go turn on my Xbox or whatever it is.
So here's a question.
Yeah.
Now you're saying that someone has a host PC,
Right.
right? Now, do they have a host PC that has the latest Zen 5 and a 4060 in it?
Probably not.
So if they do, then great. Then they already have something that they could stream to. But if you don't, then you can get that. which
Right.
Is
And that becomes
yeah.
your everything too,
Your
because you
everything.
can dock it and turn it into your main PC.
Yeah.
So like that's kind of the main appeal with something that powerful.
Yeah.
It's a
It's,
one and done kind of.
it's arguably just unreal stupid with like how many CPUs, like full fat Zen 5 cores. There's like 16 of them there. So it's a mobile workstation through and through, which is
Yeah.
insane. So it literally is a monster, and I don't recommend that everyone gets one because it is too expensive.
Well-
I think everyone across the board has said that it's like, if anything, that I think every one of you guys is like, well, the only thing that you guys would entertain is the 385 one.
Yeah, for what, $1,400?
That's only the crowdfunding price is $1,440.
What's the retail?
I think it's $1,600, $1,650.
$1,650. You're talking more expensive than the Lenovo Legion Go 2.
Yeah,
Around
$300.
by $300.
Yeah.
You are getting double the performance though at that price point.
yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Well, the 385 is double the performance.
It will,
Really?
in that same TDP spec. Yeah.
Oh, shit. Oh man, that's one.
Now you're getting
Well,
excited.
Okay. All right.
Now you're kind of selling me on it.
Well, we're talking. Okay.
Stumbled on his words thinking about it.
Yeah. Okay. But okay. Corporate wise, Lenovo, you go to a Best Buy, you buy it, you might not love it.
Yes.
You can return it.
Yeah.
You can return it. Amazon, you can return it. If you're buying from Indiegogo or what have you, like GPD's offering here, You do get a 1-year warranty, right?
Yeah, so this is, and it's painful. It really is painful, and I don't recommend. Like, it's not the best situation, and it flat out how it is that you have a 1-year warranty. If anything goes wrong with it, it's the screen gets busted, the chip's bad, battery's bad, any part of it's bad.
Yep.
GPD gives you 2 options. Number 1, they will ship you the part for free next day air, so it'll get there next day, whatever it is. So you'll get it in 2 to 3 days. Then it's up to you to repair and replace it. Not many people are very comfortable with doing that. So then you're going to have to take that and maybe take it to some local technician to do it. And then you're going to pay whatever fee that is. Not great. But at least you don't have to send out your device, and you hold on to it, and it can be repaired far faster. The other alternative is that you send them the device, they repair it, and send it back to you. But you would have to pay to send to them, and then they pay to ship it back to you. So it's a one-time shipping cost to them. But because this has it's a 2-pound device. Now you don't have to send the whole battery with them, so you keep the battery, but you're literally going to be at like $100 to ship it to them. So your customer support end is not great and awful. And that's really where you look at it.
But you do have like diehard GPD fans who will just be like, okay, I'm going to buy this.
Yeah, typically, like when we have a lot of enthusiasts, and for most of these people, we're all already hardcore Uber nerds. So the prospect of the prospect
It's
of
true.
Yeah,
We are. We're talking about it. No one's really going for that 385 SKU. Everyone's going for the highest
Yes.
spec one because
Yes.
it's like that's what they want. They're enthusiasts. They want
The best of the best.
of the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter the cost.
Which is funny. I mean, like,
So in this one particular aspect, I think that most of the people understand what they're getting into, and it's probably the same customers that are in that sphere that are already buying the best that they can possibly get. Because in the reality is that when you take a look at that and what's on there, even if you weren't including that, right? Let's say the One X Apex one, the 8-inch device that's coming out, right? Let's say you're more interested in that one. But for all intents and purposes, Strix Halo, we're in this weird zone where, once again, we're waiting for the next generation of GPUs to carry us forward in performance, but we don't have that yet. So the only way that we get there is by paying for it in price and power. So if you want to have more power in performance, you need to pay and in both ways. And that's where we are until 2027. So you basically, how I've said it, and it's not really the best, and I don't really say it, but I mean, like, how much would you pay to time travel 2 years into the future? How much should time traveling cost? Does it cost
Never been asked.
$2,000? Yeah, I'm just saying.
Never been asked.
If you can
think
go,
about because that technology will start to trickle down.
Yeah, it'll.
And can you imagine having that capabilities in a handheld
Well-
that is the size of a Win 600 or even the Ally
Exactly.
X,
You should
know?
expect better than
That's-
that in 2 years, right? But you're not going to get there
That's
until 2 years. And then by then, you're going to be on the latest node, which is going to be expensive.
Yep.
You should really think like the Steam Deck 2, which is going to be in 2027. That
Right.
is likely going to be a $700 device at the low end.
Yeah.
Right? So now the price change, because now the US dollar's down 10% this year, not getting any better. Nothing looks good. Everything's getting more expensive.
Tariffs, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, tariffs. Everything that you see is getting more expensive, and it's not just isolated to a single company. It's going to be everywhere. So expecting things to cost what they cost today is not going to be the case. So when you think of that price, you're like, man, that is super expensive. But the cost of the better gear that's coming out is also going to balloon up. But it's also going to be better because RDNA 5 is like 6 to 12 times better, at least rumored, on ray tracing.
Well, and Valve was saying we're not going to make a new handheld until we get a generational leap.
Yes.
Exactly. So and that's RDNA
That's
5.
more meaningful. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the world that you're looking at is 2027 is when the actual next generation in performance outside of that comes. So
Yeah.
are you happy with the Ally X, the MSI Claw? Like, you have to be happy with that as your performance target. And for many people, it's not good enough. Like, it's just like,
Yeah.
okay, this is better.
Well, the speakers are good enough, but hey,
Yeah, I mean, the reality, like, you go into it and you say, okay, this is clearly better than a Steam Deck, but it's not that much better than a Steam Deck. I'm still struggling with
I'm noticing that.
1080p.
I'm noticing that.
I can't
Yeah.
run 1080p. I have to
And
use
the
upscale.
biggest thing is they just had a sale in the LCD model, $319.
Yeah, 320. Yeah, so
$320 for a full-blown x86 handheld.
Which is still it's still get a Steam Deck, bro.
yeah,
For some, yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
mean,
like,
that's a lot.
but it's like Cary said, how much are you willing to pay to travel into the future?
yeah. So I get it. It's not for everyone, and not everyone wants to time travel.
Yep.
And I get it. They go, time traveling is not for me. And I go, yeah, Steam Deck's there. The Ally X is there. Ally X has gone on sale. Lots of these devices. The Ally itself has gone on sale. You can get that 60 watt hour attachment battery. That went down to like $400. So if you do that with a JSAW the battery mod, you're in a pretty good area, not spending a ton of money, and you're going to be in an okay area. So you don't have to spend all this money. You just have to be okay with running like 720p and 40 FPS. And like,
Which I feel like that's what people do even in the desktop space, right?
Yeah.
You buy a really high-end GPU and you ride it out for the next couple of years, and then you upgrade when it's more meaningful to upgrade.
Well,
Yeah.
That kind of is the same idea here in the handheld space. It's like the same thing. So.
it's for the 1%.
Yeah, well, and then there's the people who buy
enthusiasts,
who buy the mid-range x86 handhelds, and then you pair it with a good external GPU. That's the other option, but I think that's an even smaller niche.
It is.
I think so.
But you know what's interesting?
I agree.
I've actually had a lot more people reach out to me about eGPUs.
Really?
A lot more than usual. Typically, it's the usual suspects that I know that are just hardcore eGPUs.
Right.
But now I have a bunch more people that are just asking me in general, can you please test this with an eGPU as well? Like, they want me to test an eGPU on the GPD Win 5. And I'm like, well, all right, I have a giant big beast, but you want more beast. That's what you're asking
Double,
me?
you want double the beast.
Yeah, it's
Double
it's
the beast.
Here's this I win button.
You're telling me it's not enough power in this thing.
Why don't-
you need more?
Yeah, can I have more power, please?
Like, how much power do we need to play Balatro? I'm sorry. Like, what games are you playing?
It's that fascinating, and I get it. I fall like, you guys ever play Hearthstone?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like, whenever you have like a deck that you're building, and it's like, oh, if I just combo this, and that, and the other thing, and it's like, you've already won. Like, you've won. You don't have to win this much. Like, why are you winning so hard?
Especially when you think about game design, right? What are they targeting in terms of development?
Yeah.
It's going to be PS5 spec, Xbox Series spec. We're not going really beyond that. So there's a point where these handhelds are actually surpassing the power of what they're even targeting in terms of game development. I'm like, so what are we doing here? That's the thing. It's like, it gets to a point where, okay, we're going too far now. You know?
We're kids in our sandbox playing with really expensive toys is what we're doing here.
For enthusiasts.
Did you guys see Digital Foundry's look at Strixhalo?
No. Okay, so again, everybody, now producer Sony, if you don't mind putting some graphics on the screen to cover up what I'm about to do, but look at this thing. Look at this thing. Bigger than the Win 4, right? Has a freaking external battery, which to me was nuts at first, but after using it today, and I've gotten a good amount of hands-on time now, it is not a bad situation here. It's about 2 pounds. Take off the battery, it's about 1 pound. Even then, like, this thing is pretty honking sweet, man. 395 power. We're playing Miles Morales, 120 FPS, 1080p, no frame gen turned on.
Very high settings.
Very high settings. No ray tracing, but that's not AMD's bag right now anyways.
No.
And it was fluid. Like, you're just swinging webs. And even Bob Wolf was like, oh, this is incredible, you know? And
Yeah, once you start feeling the performance, that's when you're like,
it's good. That's real nice.
To me is the image quality, right?
Yeah.
Because we're so used to having to turn things down to make it run well on a handheld. And
Exactly.
it's just like, this is desktop class graphics on a handheld.
To classify this, though, like the review unit here you have, this is like a pre-production, right? But it's also the max spec.
It's the max spec.
That's the 395 plus
yeah.
that we're looking at here, which is $2,300.
That's the retail price. At $2,100 for the retail price.
Okay.
It's like 19 something for the.
Oh, really?
Funding. Yeah.
Well, that's not bad because even the Flow 2025 is $2,300.
It's cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the retail's cheaper than what Asus
Same
charges.
chip.
About $200 cheaper than what Asus charges. Yes.
But you have to be really committed to gaming on that. Like with the Flow, you're getting also a tablet, you're getting a Windows PC pretty much.
Yeah.
So
a
like
controller if you want to do gaming, right? I mean, so that's
Yeah.
that has a little more functionality, I feel like.
I find the thing fascinating because whenever I've long since talked about Asus to like a gaming phone, every which way I can, I try to push whatever I can on people, and I've long since tried to ask them to put like Strix Halo, and this is before Strix Halo even came out, and I was like, oh man, I can't wait for this to be on a handheld, and everyone's like, oh, that's a 45, 50 watt part, and I'm like, we can take it lower, don't worry, and no one believed me, but we're here, and then.
You did say that. That's right.
You did it to everyone.
Yeah, you said like a year ago too.
Yeah, so Asus comes out and they're like, oh no, we're not going to put in a handheld. That's nuts. We're going to put in a tablet. And I'm like, that's better?
I mean, we have that tablet here too.
I'm just saying it's still insane. It's an insane thought to like, I don't say like, oh, a handheld. No, like, iPad, yes. Like, come on, guys. The thing is like super thin. For what it is, it's absolutely monstrous. So it's not. I find it to be just as an absurd thought to have, and I get it.
It fits my Janko jeans though.
It's a 13-inch screen, and you have that. It's the very Surface-like device, right? You have that.
Yes.
That
The kickstand.
yeah.
And all that. Yep.
So I get it.
I freaking love it.
Keyboard
I'm a fan. I'm a fan. That's all I'm saying.
It's literally right there. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I take it with me all the time to do production work whenever I'm on the road.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a monster. It's an absolute monster.
And if you want to game on it, you can throw it in a G8 GameSir, telescopic with modified.
Just grab an
RR
Xbox controller.
RRtronics.
I was gonna say there's an Xbox controller that I take with me,
Kickstand,
like an 8-bit
Now
Dell
you're
one.
introducing latency. So how about them apples, huh? Decode times.
Plug it into one of the USB ports.
So I had bought my kid a gaming laptop, a Lenovo gaming laptop with a 2060 M, and
Lucky kid.
And then I had obviously Asus sent me one, so I had the 395 just sitting around because I had better gear than the 395. And I'm like,
Excuse me?
I should probably have.
Dude, that was such a subtle flex, by the way.
Oh, no big deal. But
So it was just sitting around, unfortunately, and I'm like, I should just probably give this to my son. So I swapped him out because it's like much better.
you're downgrading your son to a 395.
So, well, I upgraded him. But
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
he was on a 2060M, but
Terrible. You're a
yeah,
terrible parent.
Oh, what a garbage chipset,
I was thought you were gonna say garbage dad. Like, wow, how awful.
Yeah, but so he just plays Roblox on it. So it's like overkill for what it is.
Yeah.
But
It's all right. We're playing Celeste Balatro.
Like, Dad, I got 120 frames per second in Roblox.
he does play Dead by
jobs.
Daylight on it, and his monitor is a 1440p monitor, and it can hit 1440p for Dead by Daylight at 120 FPS, which is impressive. But that just goes to show you like how impressive the thing is that even though it is by all means a tablet, it is also a mobile workstation. And but yeah, that's just like how this is. And I get it. It's like this weird. How do you recommend something like this? It's such a weird thing. Like you wouldn't go around like, oh man, look how awesome this Ferrari is. You should get one.
Just because, like, you are committing with the Win 5, you are committing to the gaming aspect of that chip.
Yes.
Like that is what you're committing to. Sure, you can dock it, right? And
Yeah.
you can pair it, have it be your main daily driver PC.
Yeah.
But my complaint is, and I'm sure some of the backers' complaints are, going from Gen 3, Win 3 with that, membrane keyboard up to Gen 4, that was the tactile keyboard, right?
Yep.
Awesome to have that as an option. You slide it out, cool, you got a keyboard. Even smaller form factor. It was got a little hotter, sure. But we're losing that on the Gen 5 here.
Yes.
So what are we doing? Like, we're adding a bunch of power. We're losing that functionality.
Yeah, they just put a little button here that's on
One
works
button.
on Windows, but this brings up. Remember how Ayaneo
Virtual keyboard.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
you know
all.
what else has a dedicated keyboard button?
Win 600, baby,
sure
all
does,
day.
yeah.
2023's X86 of the year that was made by Anbernic.
Here.
X86 of the year.
2023 spreadsheet all day.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's an interesting time certainly, and we're in the lull. And this has happened previously when the Win 1 came out, and then luckily for us, the Core M3 7Y30 that existed on Intel side was double the performance inside the same power, which is but that was a 1 year difference. Well, for me, it was a 1 year difference, 2 year difference for everyone else. And that was like, okay, 2 years, no problem. I doubled my performance in the same power. That's great. We also doubled the cost. GPD Win 1 was $300, and then we went to $650 to GPD Win 2.
Remember that? Yes.
And then when the GPD Win Max came out, we only went to Ice Lake, which was double the performance of the Win 2, but we had to use double the power. And it's like, oh crap! Now we're using double the power just to hit double the performance. And then we had Ayaneo, which was in the same basic range as Ice Lake, same power scope as everything else. So it wasn't anything really much better, but it was AMD. It was like the first AMD thing we had, and Ayaneo was like the first form factor that I think a lot of people, like GPD, was making like things that look like mini laptops with buttons on them. Yeah. And this was like the first thing that looked like a gaming handheld. And then the Steam Deck came out, and then that
changed the game.
Yeah, that was 2 times performance of the GPD Win Max at half the power. Yeah. And it's like, finally, we're
price.
Here. And then since the Steam Deck, we've been slowly ramping up of pay more money, push more power, get incremental performance. And now we're at the end of that, where you pay top dollar, push a ton more power, and get that performance out of it.
Until 2027, when Valve once again they level the playing field.
Yeah,
reset it. Yes.
Yeah, but this is the same type of thing that we're back into again.
Right.
And it's painful right now because this is actually a longer stint. Because if you look at the difference between the GPD Win 2, the GPD Win Max to Steam Deck, it was a 2-year gap between all of those. And it wasn't great, but you had this 2-year cadence of, okay, push more power, get more power, 2 years, reset the playing field. And now we're going on 5 years before we reset the playing field. And right now I feel like everyone feels that. Like every new game that comes out is just like, oh, cool, it's 720p, 24 frames a second on Steam Deck. How does Monster Hunter? Not great.
Monster Hunter says no. Nothing's not ready.
No, that's a no.
And nothing is happening in a vacuum here. Nintendo changed, the game in a way with the Switch 2 this year. Like that's because now we're talking about like, do people even want to play their x86 games on the go, or are they switching to the Marios and the cutesy, stuff, all that stuff?
It's funny because it makes the Switch 2 seem like
8-inch,
but it's also
great.
It seems like a very good value in comparison to all these x86 games.
Oh yeah.
Well,
dude, there's so much power in it.
Let me stop us. We should call an expert in who knows Switch 2 stuff. Let's get Josh from Scatterbrain. Josh, are we here?
Calling Josh.
I think there was some space right there in frame.
I'll gladly join.
Let's talk about this. Josh, what are your thoughts about
What you want to do?
the viral Switch 2 video of the year?
Like when Star Wars Outlaws came out, right? Like that was recently. Like that's considered a great port. Yeah. And you try to play Star Wars Outlaws on any of these handhelds, maybe except for your fancy GPD, like it doesn't really play that well, and it looks great on a Switch 2, right?
Yeah,
like that says something about what the Switch 2 is able to do,
because they're making the most use of that.
I'm sure part of it is like developers are targeting that platform,
and
I'm sure that's a huge difference. But like until we get to that point with handhelds, like you're always going to have a trade-off.
You drop 450, 500 on a Switch 2, you know that you're good for the next 5 years at least.
Yeah, 7 likely. Or
the only exactly knowing Nintendo the way Switch 1 turned out, probably 7.
The only thing you're going to look forward to is Switch 2 OLED, and that's like that's your
just Switch 2 Lite maybe too.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's still in the same scope of like they're going to do their bump in node so that they can get better battery life, but downclock it to hell so that it's the same performance as what the Switch 2 already was.
Correct.
So there's no performance difference between them. You just get a battery.
You kind of know what their game plan is going to be. Basically.
Yeah,
they're going to do a light one, a more compact one, and then they're going to do the one with a fancier display, better battery efficiency, and that's what it's going to be basically.
But yeah, to your guys' point, like the Ampere, especially on the ray tracing end, is far more generationally advanced than what RDNA 2. RDNA 3 is the same as RDNA 2. And all of that all the CUs that share stuff for doing ray tracing is showing its age. And when you have something that is even as anemic as a Switch 2, because remember, even at its highest power state, you're using 8 watt total in the handheld state on the Switch 2, which is nothing. So what it's achieving with so little power is truly monumental. Like it's very, very impressive. And we just are still using old AMD GPUs. And from what we can tell, like rumors and everything, RDNA 5 is finally going to get us there for ray tracing. And then you're going to see that giganto divide. But right now, you don't see like that much of a divide for what PC gaming handhelds offer and what the Switch 2 offer, especially when you have companies doing the work to optimize for that title.
Cyberpunk is a good example.
Yeah, Cyberpunk was a huge
really
one.
good example. Yeah.
Very impressive. That was one that I definitely bought day one.
Yeah.
Just to see what that experience was.
Yes.
I think the only thing that, well, I don't know if it's a problem, but it's like I found that I was going to stop buying physically for Switch. I was like, okay, this is the last physical game collection I will have. And I started just buying on Switch. And when Switch 2 came out, I was like, okay, I still have my Switch 1 games. I'll still buy Switch 2.
still work.
Yeah, but he's like, that's still Switch, right? So I'll buy that.
Yeah.
But then Nintendo helped me out. And they were like, don't worry about it. Most all the physical cards aren't actually anything on there.
Oh my god! It's funny. The only Switch 2 games I own physically are the ones where they're actually
only.
game on there.
Yes.
You know, like I'm kind of like, okay, that's gonna be my rule, basically.
You get the first party ones, and then you get a couple of scattered.
Once in a while, yeah.
You know.
And I'm sure they're gonna look at the numbers.
But that's not that much different than what we have on other platforms today.
Right.
Like, PlayStation has been shipping code in a box, technically, you know, just disc with 5
the
kilobytes
illusion
of a
that
serial
you're actually-
number, right? Like,
Why do we get so pissed off then when we're talking about Nintendo doing it? We have the nostalgia of the cartridges.
I don't agree with the path to go fully digital. Like, I think people should have the option to go physical if they want.
Yeah.
But I actually think, and again, I'm not hugely into defending Nintendo, but they're just being transparent. Like, I think they've actually made the right decision rather than you buying Call of Duty, which has 5 kilobytes of a serial number on it.
Right. Yeah. No. I totally get it. I'm in agreement. I mean, I don't buy any disc-based stuff unless it's like absolutely dirt cheap.
Well, your 10,000 Steam games would say you do mostly digital, but
yeah, I do mostly digital. I mean, generally speaking, if I'm going to
an impressive horde.
So here's the deal.
We're not joking.
Here's my thought process. All right, my thought process is that if I'm going to buy a digital game, I need to have it on the most open platform I could get, and that's on PC. I'm not going to buy a digital-only game on a closed system where I'm bound by whatever rules that they're going to make, or I have to hope that their service keeps up, or whatever. Like, I need something that I could ostensibly just do something on my own, failing that company, without having to break open something, like jailbreak it.
Yep.
So that's where I am. And then if I am going to buy on a closed system, I want the physical side, because even if their side goes down, I know I have whatever's on here for as long as it's going to last.
Well, then you're talking about GOG, because you own that.
Yeah, so
actually.
Free.
Yeah.
But at least it's an option, right? Like, you know you're buying into this PC platform, and maybe you're going to buy a game off the Xbox app, maybe you're going to buy some games off Steam, but you could alternatively go to GOG and you could get that DRM free.
One thing that I wish that they was an opportunity would be to make what they call them write once, read many SD cards, and then on Steam Deck you can have Worm like Cyberpunk, and then you just like pajunk, and then it just loads up.
What was that sound again?
Pajunk.
Okay.
Pajunk.
No, I feel it's more of like a pajunk.
Yeah, not yet. You heard it.
Okay.
You heard.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just really like cartridges. Speaking of cartridges, last thing, small digression. I'm really upset that Breath of the Wild wasn't a gold cartridge, and I wanted to do it myself. I feel like that was a big miss.
Yeah, that is a huge miss.
Yeah, that's a big
That is a
miss.
huge
I
miss.
think you should 3D print a cartridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they could have switched up the taste on those the gold cartridge
bit.
too, a little bit.
Yeah, that was the first thing I tried.
You really?
It's the
Have you tried?
cartridge.
Is it the same taste
Yeah,
as
same
the
taste.
Gen 1?
Just as terrible.
Wow, yeah, that'll keep the kids away from it.
I accidentally ate the whole cartridge. It was so delicious.
Yes. Well, we used to have this thing, like to keep my cat away from my drum set, you'd spray this horrible sour apple spray.
I use that on my cables for my
Yeah,
kids.
yeah. Yeah, it smells awful for humans too. But
This will keep them away.
never did play that drum set again. No, it's just an interesting like place we're at. For one thing, we are so spoiled for choice in 2025. Like, my God, can you imagine when we were kids back in my day? You rented a game from the store. You know, you had like 10 games, maybe in your whole childhood you would have played. Now we're just content being shoved down our throats through Epic, through freaking every platform, Amazon, any number of platforms you could use. Steam, still, even though you don't own those games, I bet you that's everyone out there is probably your biggest library, no matter how much Epic wishes it were different.
With all their free games that they try to draw you in with.
The free games, right?
This is free.
And where they get you, not only you get achievements for those dopamine hits, but you get those freaking cloud saves, which is
That's
awesome.
one of my favorite things. I have played Hades 2. I don't even know how many different handles by now. Honestly, I'm like, it's just nice to have.
And you just QR code into your account.
I love that.
On any handheld.
QR code sign-in is a game changer.
And then you have...
So good.
And then you can just switch between handhelds all day long and see which is the right Goldilocks handheld for me.
I do a little bit of that.
just buy handhelds, don't charge them. Like, flavor's gone.
What you're describing though is like we were talking about Switch before, we're talking about Steam Deck. Like I feel like those are the handhelds you have to recommend because they're just essentially plug and play.
The Steam Deck is like a Honda Civic or a Toyota Corolla, right? It's like it's all dependable. Yeah, exactly. And GPD Win 5 is the
Ferrari.
It's the Ferrari.
Yeah, with questionable customer service. Like,
no, probably not.
Where do I have to go back to Italy to get this serviced?
You have to fly it in.
The oil change costs how much to do? It's kind of that level.
And like as cool as the GPD is, like it's the battery and all that stuff. Like, at what point are you just brute forcing a handheld?
Yes.
Right. You will be.
That's where we're at.
That's kind of what it feels like.
It is 100% that, and that's just the reality of
we
where
have
we are.
limitations of just the form factor. The batteries have not caught up in terms of the power and technology. So you can see some of those limitations in just what the Win 5 is trying to accomplish.
But I think like you look at the Switch 2, and it really is unfortunate that we don't have a comparable Nvidia solution in the PC gaming hand space.
Agreed.
Because if we did, like when Nvidia gave $5 billion to Intel, and they were like, "Oh, we're going to put some of our GPU tiles on those things," everyone was like, "Say what? Are you?
How can you?"
Yeah.
The problem is once Nintendo came into the picture, Tegra went with it. You'll never.
Oh yeah.
You'll never see Tegra.
I don't know if you
else.
guys. I don't know if you guys remember. Oh, I don't even remember JKD.
Oh yeah. Singularity, baby.
Yeah. So
yeah.
the K. What was it?
K92.
The big one. The big,
The S.
It had the Tegra X1 in it.
Yeah.
And they were the first one with the Tegra X1 in it. And then the Switch came along. And then they were like, "Okay, can we get more of those?" And be like, "No, you're gone." And then the company just disintegrated.
The Shield Portable was the base of the proof of concept.
Now,
so we're trying to shop it out to somebody.
Rob, no. You know what we've been talking about behind the scenes. We haven't told anyone publicly, but we do think there's a conspiracy theory that JXD dissolved to become Pow Kitty.
My theory.
To become Pow Kitty.
That's my theory.
Oh,
that's my thought.
Because they kind of disappeared around the same time Pow Kitty appeared.
They couldn't use the Tegra chips. They have the manufacturing. Like they didn't just go away.
The molds were similar. The build quality similar.
So the one thing that I want to say about the whole Shield line of things is that you can see that as it was. So if you take a look at Nvidia's whole 2010s era, they were trying their hardest to break into mobile.
Yes.
And they bought a software-defined radio company for cellular. They tried their very best to be a customer, but Nvidia is a terrible business to business, also business to customer. And so far as they're like, "Oh, you like our stuff and you want our stuff, that'll be $2,000."
GeForce Now would like the word, but sure.
The 5090, that'll be $3,000, and it's like, all right. And I look at all of their all the customers. Microsoft Xbox One had a GeForce 3. And then they went back to the drawing board and they said, "Hey, it's been 3 years. Can we get renegotiate this deal?" And Nvidia's like, "No, you can just pay us top dollar." And then they were like,
screwed on that.
They're like, "Oh crap!
Time. Oh man,
mainline 360. We need to get 360 out the door. We're not paying these guys anymore. No more dealing with Nvidia." Sony. Ken Kutaragi, the father of PlayStation, he's like, "Sell is it?" And then they're like, "Actually, it isn't." And then they're like, "We need something." They go to Nvidia's like, "You want some GPU, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, please." They put it in and they take it real hard. And then Ken Kutaragi, the father of PlayStation, they're like, "Oh man, thank you so much. You're fired. Get out of here." Like the PlayStation 3 is such a disaster. And then Sony doesn't.
That's exactly what, if you look at the PS4 architecture, completely
AMD.
opposite direction.
Yeah. So what does Microsoft do? They go to AMD. What does Sony do? Goes to AMD.
Everybody,
Tegra was in a Tesla. That left. Everything that Nvidia does business with, they're no longer customers with them. So in the mobile space, no one was buying anything, but Nvidia was printing these chips. So what do they do with lemons? They make lemonade. Enter the Shield. And the Shield gets made because they just were sitting on these
Where are my Shield guys at?
Then
dozens of us.
Then here's the thing. In 2015, PAX East, Nvidia was there showing off their Switch, which was an Android tablet that could go both. And I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool."
That was the K8 or something like that.
I don't remember. I remember that they were showing it off.
the K1.
K1
because that was
K1.
the chip. It was what were the series? It was Tegra 1, 2, 3. Then they started doing the letters.
Well, it was Tegra Plus too. That was in the 2019 Shield TV. Was that right?
That's the X1 Plus. Which is just what is it? A little slightly higher clocked X1 basically.
Okay.
But that X1 Shield. How many years in are we on that now?
Oh, I mean 8.
Yeah, and there's a reason for it because there's probably some
10
literature,
years
some
in.
agreement where Nintendo said, "That's it. You can't put anything else beyond this chipset into any other product."
I mean, I don't. Yeah. I think for me, Nvidia basically just shit canned their entire mobile thing, especially when AI started coming over.
Yeah,
and they basically went to Nintendo and said, "Hey, look, we have a bunch of lemons, but I think we'd do great for you guys, and we have this idea. It's called, this." And they're like, "Oh, it's like switching." It's like, yes. That. And then they were like, "We can give this to you for nothing." And they're like, "Great, because we want to sell it for something."
Yep.
And then they did, and then everyone loved it. And then, the Switch 2 comes around, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's going to be $300." And then Nvidia's like,
No.
The funny thing is, Nvidia is like this kind of cutthroat business person to deal with, right?
Yeah.
They kind of screwed everybody over. Microsoft, Sony, everybody got screwed over from Nvidia. Nintendo's the perfect customer for them because Nintendo too will make sure that Nvidia somehow gets screwed over. They both want to screw each other over.
It's absolutely
perfect.
Too, I'm assuming.
Everyone's
maybe you guys know, but I'm assuming that they just didn't have a choice if they wanted backwards compatibility. They had to stick with Nvidia.
Yep. Yeah. So there was there's a whole bunch of layer of stuff that you can do, but it doesn't benefit them in any way. Especially when what is the API that they use specifically for Switch? That NVN is the API that Nvidia made, and lots of people leverage the NVN. So you have all of this stuff that's already pre-baked. So it doesn't benefit them all that much to switch it, especially for people that have this desire. And I would argue that all of the ecosystem that they built up, to throw that away would be disastrous. So I don't know. I don't think it would have worked out in their favor. So yeah, they pretty much had to go to it. And for everyone's happy. Like, the Switch 2 is dope. Like, I mean, in terms of performance, what it gets and using Samsung's 8nm node, it's still doing fantastic. Yeah. So I don't know. I still think it's great, but ultimately, it's like that would be awesome to have in the PC gaming handheld space. But there's also the N1X. That's Nvidia's ARM. Windows on ARM.
I was about to say, let's merge it all together. What about Snapdragon's push with Microsoft to get crazy with the ARM?
The X Elite 2.
Right. Yeah. So you have like Windows on ARM stuff that was interesting, and ARM offers a lot of power gating stuff that's helpful for sleep.
Compatibility kind of blows right now.
It does, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, I was gonna say compatibility was pretty solid.
Yeah,
and that was I did that at first, like when it first launched. I was experimenting with it. It's gotten better since then.
Yeah. Did you try the X Elite?
I'm using X Elite on my Surface laptop.
Okay, yeah. So the X Elite is not the only bad side of it is really not even bad. It's just that the GPU isn't very good.
Yeah,
you can jack it up if you plug in the power cord. You're gonna get a lot more TDP out of it.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, when you compare it to what AMD offers, especially what Nvidia offers, it doesn't really have that edge.
I know.
And it's like, oh, cool, it's compatible, and it doesn't run awesome.
Well, yeah, you're trading off for battery life, though, efficiency, right?
I think a lot of, but I mean, like, you also have to imagine, a lot of people's perception of ARM is Apple M4. It's like, that's how good ARM is. And I'm like, hold on, that's Apple silicon. And Apple silicon is way different than standard ARM. And so you're not going to get what Apple does. And what Apple does is very impressive for how little power they chew up. And they're, soup to nuts what they were doing. So mostly it's just GPU end. And NVIDIA still rules there. And until the N1X is supposed to come out. And as far as we know, there was supposed to be something that happened, Windows on ARM-wise.
Yeah, I mean, so we're moving in that direction. And on the other side of the fence, like on Android handhelds right now, we're doing the GameHub, GameNative, the Winlator stuff. What do you feel? What's your thoughts on that?
So GameHub, I don't like.
Why?
So I like the premise of it, but it's also like GameSir's. Remember when GameSir came out with Switch emulator first?
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, this is super gross. Like,
Well, yeah.
you're like, oh, you need all those privacy permissions? You need every one of those?
Let's-
You need to know where I am?
That's huge right now. Everyone's freaking out about GameHub. Is it a virus? Is it a virus? You know, the permissions it wants.
Yeah, the permissions are like absolutely insane, and you just see like all this stuff that's doing. The GameHub website is just trash. Like it's loading so much, it brings my system to a crawl. I'm trying to scroll through. I'm like, what is going on?
Right. The GameHub is just that Switch emulator, like in a nicer package. Like
Yeah.
the UI looks a little bit nicer, but it still feels wrong. It doesn't feel safe to use.
All I'm saying is I'm playing Silksong at like a solid 60 FPS on my Anbernic RG476H. You
Right.
know?
It's super awesome. Like it's a good. The idea is that you can just do exactly what they're doing because they have box 3D, which is the that's the ARM x86. Yeah. So then you have that. And you have Protons. You have all the layers there.
Yeah.
So all you need is just basically do the layers and then do something else that's not gross. And that's what happened. Like Switch emulation became not so gross on Android. And I feel like it's only a matter of time before we get.
We're gonna get there.
There's gonna be some developer that's just like, ugh, and then just out of just disgust, just like, let me do this.
It's funny because someone on Reddit's trying to do a light version of GameHub. They're trying to get rid of all that stuff.
It makes so much sense. It's like, you want to play this game? I'm just going to give you this container that already has all the settings for your device.
A spite build. It's a spite build. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's actually a really good way of describing it.
yeah. It's worth. So I don't balk out the idea of it. I think that it's a solid idea, and especially for the Android side of things. The best part of Android is ARM's power gating, and the power gating part of it is the part where everyone loves, where you just press standby, and then
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'll put it on. And it only took like 1% of my battery. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now, you're going to pick it up and it's still going to be there.
Still there.
So that's still the advantage that ARM has over x86, and x86 just went they're like, oh, we have this thing called S3. It just keeps power in RAM. And you can start it back up, and we're only powering RAM. It's not super awesome, but it's not bad. They're like, well, how about we have the system on all the time and allow it to do updates?
You're going for a different goal.
My favorite. I'm in bed, put it on standby, put it on
You hear the fan quietly
and all
go.
of a sudden, lights flash up, all the RGBs turn on. Like, what the?
It's downloading Defender updates.
Yes. I put you to
Waking
sleep.
up to a rave.
Yeah, I put you to sleep, and it's like, no. It's modern sleep.
Right. I remember back in Taiwan, we had the Ally X launch last year. They were really big on the S3. They were like, talk about the sleep. And it's like, it's still not Android. It's still not going to be that true standby, which is why, to my mind, I still gravitate towards ARM, even though compatibility sucks right now with Winlator stuff. Give it a year or two to bake. 2027 is a good key year, I think, where the next needle's going to move.
I think the weird thing for me on Android side of things is it's like the Gen 2, Snapdragon Gen 2 is still the better one, right? Insofar as Vulkan drivers.
Oh, yeah, compatibility for sure.
Yeah, and then you have the newer, the better stuff that isn't as good, and you're kind of like...
Turnip stuff too.
Yeah. So that's the only problem that I kind of generally have with it.
Qualcomm's trying to work on that. They're trying to work on their own driver set with Vulkan compatibility and things like that. So they are improving it. They're aware of that issue.
Right.
This new
They're taking it a little more seriously, I think. Which is good.
Snapdragon 8 Elite, we just saw that there was going to be actual driver focus now coming to it.
Probably going to be a little more, because we got all the handhelds that are coming out with it.
They're going to have to
attention to it. So I'm like,
with the Conquer Pocket Fit, 8 Elite, Odin 3, 8 Elite. What else? I think those are the only.
Well, and you also have 1 year of market saturation now. So
right,
all the phones,
that's a tough market.
Tablets,
That's a super.
It moves so fast.
Oh yes,
I mean, it's like.
I think the funniest thing about that is that the worst competition that AYN has is themselves. It's like here's
How about Ayaneo?
yeah.
Oh, and I was saying,
Ayaneo,
Oh my god!
you and I, we always talk about that, how Ayaneo literally just shoots himself in the
I'm like, wait, you guys haven't even shipped the last product, and you've already announced the next product.
Right.
Like, calm down.
This has been a long time thing with them. It's just you guys realize the Osborne effect isn't good. No one said you should do this.
We're seeing it with Anbernic stuff. There's definitely a fatigue with the Anbernic stuff. Like,
but the thing
there's
is
a lot less interest in it overall because
it's
you
the
release
same
12
thing,
handhelds in
slightly
1 year.
different, and there's no change, and it's like basically the same thing. The software is still pretty garbage. You have to rely on open
Right.
source firmware. Like,
I hope that Gamma OS comes around, some custom firmware.
Yeah.
but you have to hope that the community is going to do
Right,
it.
the
That these
community,
great developers are going to put that time in to actually make your device usable.
But the 4.7 inch display that they have now is super nice. That 120 hertz.
Yes, sir.
But it's like
The
every device,
LTPS.
it's like, oh, there's this one nice thing.
Yeah.
But then
always a
everything else is
gotcha.
bad. It's
There's
like,
always a
yeah,
gotcha.
there's
There's
always
always
so many gotchas to Anbernic.
The gotcha with the 476H is that they went back prior generation instead of putting like a Dimensity in there.
Yeah, they did that.
So they did the 477N, but the gotcha with the 477N was what it is metal, it's heavier,
Unisoc T820 in there.
Yeah, inline
shoulders.
And then they made the update to that, and it's like, guys, what do you? Yeah.
It's like they just like take whatever extra parts they have lying around and can we make a handheld out of
They got
this?
a parts bin. They just go in line and like, what do we get? Okay.
Having said that, the 476H
It's
looks
great.
super premium. Like it looks like a high end Neo.
Yeah.
It is really nice.
It is a nice
It is,
handheld.
I think
Look at the Air Mini coming out too.
the one thing that I really like about it's just more just fascination from Shenzhen side is like it used to be 5 years ago that if you wanted to like they would always complain like whenever you like talk about like different form factors and stuff they're like, oh, it's going to cost us $50,000 just to make the mold to make the plastics for it, and that seems to have been like $10 now because they make form factors galore. It's like, oh, you want it like slightly different? Here it is, and it's like I thought that was super expensive. Wasn't that just super? So
I wonder how fast like a company like Anbernic, for example, because they get product out quickly and very consistently, and they can ship it no problem. You're never waiting from concept to the time it gets in someone's hands. What the time is between that?
So the one thing that I should really ask Arthur is you take a look at what Anbernic has done, and it's always been they can only do so much with what's available. So you have like B stock of whatever. It's like this is the panel that I have. Let me design something around this panel.
Yeah.
Right. So you had the Miu Mini was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Let me build this thing all around it.
Yep.
And now it seems like Anbernic is like, here's this 4.7 inch, 120 hertz, 4x3, 1280 by 960 display. I'm like, and you know, I hear from them that's like, oh, it's expensive for us to make this.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it was custom BLE
yeah,
screen.
yeah. So it's like they now are producing their own stuff.
Which is why you're going to see that 4.7 inch screen in
Oh yeah,
everything.
Yeah.
I mean,
Everything.
But even like Ayaneo was their 4.3 inch. Yeah. So it's like you are already seeing like there has been a significant cost reduction in plastic mold creation. There is now the capability of making custom displays that are really good. It is quite literally as Silicon Valley is for software, Shenzhen is the Silicon Valley for hardware in how fast they iterate.
Oh yeah.
And it's just super fascinating to see how fast they're moving now, and it's at a lightning pace that they're doing
It
things.
seems like they're designing, and then about a month or two later, they're already producing pre-prod units, and then like 2 weeks later, they're shipping review units. Like it's crazy.
It's impressive. It's really impressive.
So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Logistics of that alone is
incredible. It's incredible. Like, how do they even do it?
they're like I feel like
But it's
becoming
the best.
Apple level in like that efficiency of just like here it is, you can get it next week.
All right. One other angle to look at here is the fact that you can run Windows or this new Xbox full screen experience, or you can rely on Bazite or SteamOS
Bazite.
on third party, other handhelds like Lenovo's Go S, and you can build it on your Asus, of course. But Cary, I specifically want your opinion on this. Like, what do you think on the Windows experience now with full screen versus what we get from Linux?
It's not as good. And the only reason being is, all right, so here's the thing is that they've gone and done a tremendous amount of work. X Input is now a first-class citizen. It works in user access control, so you get the UAC prompt that says, are you trying to do this, yes or no? It's a elevation layer. Typically, you would not be able to use a controller, so you have to use the touchscreen only. But that's not awesome, especially if you want to do like a desktop console experience for a PC and you only have controller in your hands. You're kind of screwed. You have to use a keyboard and mouse. That's no longer the case. That works on controller now. So since this new one with Windows 1125H2, we are now in a place where controller works on UAC prompts. Xbox full screen experience on when you load it up, the pin screen comes up. You can use the keys like it works on an Xbox Series. So you can use controller to enter your pin code to sign in. So you have all these like barriers that used to suck real bad, or you can use third party stuff, and all of that is now just front-facing and Microsoft delivers themselves.
More importantly, I feel like you're getting rid of all this background process stuff that you're
Right.
The shell UI or whatever for Explorer is gone.
So the leak came out a few weeks ago. Like people figured out that you can load Windows full screen experience, before it was ready.
Yeah.
So I did it on the MSI Claw, and on the MSI Claw, it did effectively stop running a bunch of stuff in the background. I saved
Nice.
like 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. Awesome. It didn't change the way the system ran at all.
Yeah, I found this same thing. I did it on the Claw also. So I was curious, like,
Yeah, we were
handheld,
Like this
kind of
Claw,
like
the
least.
8, the 8.
Is it going to make
No.
Is the Xbox experience going to get better?
The first gen Claw, right?
First gen?
First gen
First
Claw,
gen.
yeah.
First gen,
We were
okay.
talking about it because it's like, hey, we both were looking for handhelds that we were not really using much that we could put it on. So
And we know that Asus is going to move into this with their new one, the Xbox Ally X AI X7 X.
Yeah, that one.
And that's going to be interesting too. We'll have to see when that comes out. But to me, it feels like now there's no point though in loading full bloat Windows anymore. Like now that we have this,
I want to get us all distance away from bloat being the reason that Windows is operating the way it does, because
but it is, right?
No.
That is the reason.
No.
Well, okay, you're the guy.
So all right. So here, if you are
Break it down.
All right. So if you have 16 gigs of system RAM, right? Like you have 16 gigs of RAM to work with, right? You will get a benefit from saving 1 to 2 gigabytes of space, obviously, because especially if you're going to do any type of UMA cap, right? If you're going to reserve 3 gigs, 4 gigs, now your system RAM is 12 gigs. So you have even less to work with. So in that space, you just freed up 2 gigs of RAM. That's a significant percentage.
VRAM me, baby.
Yeah, so that is a benefit. But if you don't have any resource management issues,
Yeah.
this Windows still mismanages how the system is run. It is effectively like if you get into a car, right, and you just pedal to the metal, and you're like, man, this gets terrible mileage. And it's like, ease up off the gas. And you're like, why don't you just do that? And SteamOS, Bazite, does that automatically. It's like, oh, you want to drive at 30, you want to drive at 40. And what Windows does is it puts pedal to the metal, and it's just putting the brake on. Like, oh, okay, you want to go 30 FPS? It's like, and you're just like, why are you doing this? And then everyone else is like, but it's not bloated. And they're like, yeah, you got weight off the car, but you're still driving it stupid.
I mean, it seems like that is the cover. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, there's no bloat," but I do feel like the Windows full screen Xbox experience is what you said. It's just purely like now that controller experience can work throughout.
Yeah.
Like even if you don't hopefully we get performance gains, but I didn't see any on the Claw. And I think it just comes down to at least the controller works everywhere.
All right.
That's a huge benefit.
Yes. I was using the Claw 8 the other day. I was updating the latest greatest. I watched ETA Prime's video. I'm like, oh, there's been major things. It's still randomly switching to desktop mode from gamepad mode. I'm like, oh, what the hell? I'm in the toolkit, pushing buttons. I'm like, it frustrates me. I put it down, pull up my Steam Deck. Screw this.
Because that's MSI trying to brute force a handheld experience, right?
So we fixed that with this Xbox experience.
So it's not there entirely, and that's the thing that I tried talking to them at Gamescom about, because I kind of just drilled them on everything. I'm like, what happens if there is no OEM? If there's a MSI, Asus aren't there, right? What happens when someone installs the full screen experience and they are using a controller only, and how on Asus Armory Crate, I can just press a button and say, oh, I'm in a desktop configuration. Now the analog stick acts as a mouse. How is that going to happen? They're like, oh, it doesn't. It's like, oh, you are relying only on the OEMs to satisfy.
We're losing that.
No, you still have that because it's on Armory Crate. It's on Asus to do that.
Yeah, but okay. So personally speaking, sorry, Asus, I ripped out that whole thing and put on G Helper. TDP controls way better.
So you could do that, but the focus of this is it should be. Microsoft should be a power czar here. They should take a very Apple approach to this and say, hey, all vendors, guess what? You have no more power here. I have all the power here. I am going to govern how
this feels a bit like that they have one foot in, but they're not fully.
I mean, this is an amazing first step, though, and hopefully that's the first too. Is that it is just the first step.
That they bring that their second foot into it, and they're fully in on it.
I mean,
that's the thing.
The biggest difference, I guess, is and you can tell me if you guys think the same, but it's Steam had big picture mode, and like that felt like their first step in the door. And it was okay that it was kind of experimental and not really great. And that seemed to be the foundation of what SteamOS was and that whole user experience. And I guess Xbox really didn't do that. They were like, here's compact mode, here's some controller support.
I remember they introduced compact mode. I'm like,
yeah, that was a whole blog post, and it was like that's it, guys.
that's it.
That's all you got.
This is what compact
Well, and that's why I think Lenovo's playing it smart. They released to market a handheld with SteamOS from the get-go, designed for that with their Go S, priced really freaking well. I got it open box $420 or something. Nice.
So do you think that Asus should do the same thing and release something that has SteamOS right out of the box?
I think so. They're not going to. Their partnerships are tied with these other brands. I don't think they're going to do it.
I don't think they need to now, because now that we have the Xbox full screen experience exists, like this should be the indicator to Microsoft and Windows to really just push that and show that they can make something that is as good as SteamOS.
But Microsoft's track record though for what you actually get, year to year,
but they have done it, right? The Xbox interface, like I don't love the Xbox console interface, but like
it's there.
It works. And like if they just took that and put it on Windows, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just where I think they need to bring
back the blades from the Xbox 360 days.
The main thing I'm trying to get here is that SteamOS, there is, I think that there's two competing ideas for SteamOS versus the Xbox full screen experience. The one side of it is in terms of usability, user experience, how that is. That's a great first step. It's beyond a great first step. They've actually fixed a bunch of stuff on Windows, and that is now far more pleasant to use on a handheld-only device. But if you're looking for SteamOS to give you all those great gains at low power, that's on AMD right now. And for what it's worth, it does look like AMD has done a lot of work there, but it should not be on AMD to just be like, oh, we have to fix our scheduler, we have to do this. I don't think it should be on them. I think it should be on Microsoft, and especially when it literally comes down to just clock management. 100% of the time, it is as simple as what frame rate do you want to hit? 60? Okay. You want to hit 60? Here's the minimum clock I need to run to hit that. And if you just did that, you'd solve all your problems. And all of a sudden, I did a video on the original Ally for 2 years ago, and I showed Tomb Raider where on default 60 FPS frame cap, and it's using like 2 times the power. And all I did is just manage the clocks. And then I'm using half the power, 60 FPS. Why do I have to do this when it's clearly possible in Windows with all the bloat? Put all the bloat on it, still doing this.
No end user is going to go in and do that. They want to pick the 3 presets that are there, and we have to trust that those are being managed correctly. And that's how it should be for someone as a consumer buying it.
Which I trust on my Steam Deck when I go pick that up.
That is true.
Yes, it does it very well. Yeah.
The thing is, like, SteamOS does a fantastic job. I think what people don't realize is that you can actually, with the crazy nonsense that I'm talking about, you can push SteamOS further. And this has, especially on the low end, if you just go ahead and just throw in a few wrenches, you can actually extract like 20% gains on the super low end.
Yeah.
And that requires extra work, and you would imagine that SteamOS does it automatically. So it's not like SteamOS is some magic bullet that does solve all this every which way. It doesn't. It just does a far better job than where Windows is now, and Windows still needs to catch up to there. I still give them crap about it. My entire video for the MSI Claw A8 was great, still not great, or it's like, this came out and it's still not great. Forget what the hell I said, but it was just like, it's fine. I had a few people just give me some comments on there. They're like, I don't understand what you mean. And other people are like, what do you mean you don't understand what you mean? It says it right there. Good, not great. So I don't know. It's a good first step is what it comes down to.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that the full screen experience is a good first step, but it's like we talked earlier that it's them playing catch up.
Yeah.
And that there's a lot of things, a lot of polish. Oh my God.
And maybe they should be playing mustard.
I really think, though, that one of the things that I saw when I enabled the Xbox full screen experience is you have to choose the Xbox app from the drop down.
Oh yeah,
There's a drop down.
Yeah.
What? Is there going to be something else there? Is Valve going to be able to integrate into that API and make Steam Big Picture mode your default when you turn it into Xbox mode?
Hell yeah.
Right, yeah. So there is a possibility. Like, there a lot of the things that Microsoft's doing in one of the opposite side of the things of saying, hey, we should allow all of our vendors to do all this crap, is that they have that more open side. And if you look at it through that lens, like, there's a lot of new APIs that they have, which are great because it can also translate over to Proton once Proton starts accepting those APIs. But Windows has a whole handheld smorgasbord of APIs where it says, what is the DPI of the screen? Oh, I'm actually this small. I have to increase the font bigger. And these are all new APIs that can easily translate over. So that's all, fine and dandy. But when you get to, what was I just talking about?
I don't know.
APIs, adjusting things.
Yeah.
That's what you were just talking about.
I said you were able to select a different app instead of
He lost track of himself.
Thank you. Is that doing the part where giving the company the responsibility of doing it, that they open up that side of letting others do it, and it's not on Microsoft because they have that. It's on the Asus ROG Ally and X, where anything that's on the Xbox App Store, it will download shaders for those games precompiled, like how SteamOS does. However, if you don't have an Xbox Ally X and it's using some third-party thing, what you can do is there's an API call that will go to Azure and say, this is the configuration of the machine that I'm running, here are the shaders, and then you can just download it. That's like a different order. Like in SteamOS, and how it's going to work is when you're downloading the game, it also downloads the shaders. This one, the agnostic way, that the more open way, is that it will download the shaders after you launch the game.
A new definition for throwing shade.
Or downloading shade.
Downloading your shade. How much shade do you want to download here? All right. Well, this has been enlightening. We've been educated. I've learned something, at least one or two things. I'll retain some of this. We want to hear from you all in the comments below. Like, what's your thoughts? What's your favorite way to play your Steam games? Is it on a handheld? Is it on desktop? Is it on streaming? Is it on Linux? Is it on Snapdragon? Like, what's your setup? I'd love to see just kind of like a selection.
Before we end this and leave off, I do have a question for all of you guys.
Yes.
We had brought this up previously, and I think that I've narrowed down for myself games that I enjoy playing PC games on a handheld, and then some games that I actually will only play desktop, keyboard and mouse 2 feet away.
GPD Win Max 2.
And there's other ones where I do a 10-foot experience. Like, for instance, Baldur's Gate 3, I only actually enjoy playing on my desktop. I don't enjoy playing on a handheld, and I don't enjoy playing at a 10-foot experience. Something about computer RPGs for me that do not click unless I'm in a computer setting. And my question to you guys is what is that divide? What are the genres that you prefer playing on PC gaming handheld versus not?
Yeah, CRPGs, Might and Magic series, Might and Magic 7, or whatever, and the tactical ones. Also, there's this old school developer, Spiderweb Software, makes these games, Avernum, Avedon.
All the same ones.
Wow. Yeah, so good, so good. That I will only play either on an iPad, pretty good experience, or on a full desktop mode.
Right.
I tried playing it on my handheld the other day, and I'm like,
it feels you're like, why can't I possibly engage with this? And there's like a full stop, and I'm like, you know what? This requires a different way for me to play this game, and I'm curious what that divide is for everybody.
What about you, Rob?
For me on handheld, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, it's mostly pick up and play type of games. Like Hades 2, I've been addicted to Hades 2, and I feel like Hades 2 is easy to just jump in and out of, and that's the perfect handheld experience. It runs on everything. It runs well on everything. Yeah, like something like that. But like, the divide would be like XCOM, things like that, like real-time strategy games where you need that fast mouse and keyboard. Like, there's definitely experiences where I would reserve for a console type of experience, where you're playing in front of a TV, in front of a keyboard, a mouse, and then handheld. So
does tend to be role-playing games, it seems like. We keep
like strategy games for
strategy
sure.
Games,
yeah, I think strategy games for me for sure. Yeah.
It's funny, like you say that, and like my immediate thought was Cyberpunk 2077. I played it entirely on PC, and like the moment that I put it onto like a Steam Deck just to be like, oh, like there's a Steam Deck preset, I was like, this is fun, but it's not the same. Right. And Baldur's Gate 3, I entirely played on freaking PC. Yeah. Like I know that they have like a really decent control setup because my wife went through it on console, but like I can't do it. On handhelds though, like I can play it, I can go through it, but 2D side scrollers like Silk Song right now, I'm playing Hollow Knight. It's been fantastic. I did play a chunk of Expedition 33 on a handheld.
Really?
But it's like a semi turn-based RPG.
Well, you can even play that on the Steam Deck, Rudy,
I know.
if you want, but it's it's a good experience on a handheld. I feel like Claire 33, yeah, let's do it.
Play what?
Huh?
Did you say Claire 33? I thought you said
Claire obscure, whatever.
I thought you said player 33. I'm like,
Player
what game are we talking
31,
about?
Player 33, A24. I don't know what numbers we are.
I think like third person kind of games. Like I love playing Spider-Man handheld. Like that is just
fun.
That's just fun to play all the time. But yeah, it's mostly like pick up and play kind of games. Like it's stupid to say that I have like super powerful handhelds just to play Balatro, but that's
I mean,
kind of the truth.
My life, so yes.
I think that's like the running meme, right? Of everyone was like, I finally have my perfect machine, 50, 90, 128 gigs of RAM. Time to play Balatro.
Man, look how good Balatro. How good Balatro runs on
frames.
Yeah.
You guys all played Vampire Survivor though, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, nice.
Dude, that thing actually.
Yeah.
Also, you saw the update that just came out?
Yeah.
Co-op?
Yes,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Wait, are you serious?
You know what?
Yeah.
That game can bring a system to a crawl. You have enough enemies on screen.
Yeah,
yeah.
dude, like
Yeah.
it will bring the Steam Deck when it's like CPU.
Yeah.
You see, like it's like every core at 3.5 gigahertz. It's like, and you're like, oh boy,
No.
early, shut it.
A great experience if you guys are into the Vampire Survivor stuff is Megabonk.
Yeah,
that?
I've heard about
Megabonk is
Megabonk
awesome.
is amazing. Yes, I have it loaded up on here. It's great.
So what is your favorite handheld to play Megabonk on? Or whatever. But what's your favorite way to play your Steam games? I want to know from you guys too. Your steamed clams.
How do you play your Steams again?
How do you play your Steams?
Localized directly in your kitchen. Can I see it?
The shaders just come right out of the box into the pot.
It runs natively.
I will say for me, at the end of the day, I'm so freaking torn. At the end of the day, I want stuff like Winlator to get developed more, and I can run the most hours, the best battery life, because I'm not going to be pushing Miles Morales usually when I'm gaming on a handheld myself. But I do like what we're seeing here from these new gen experiences running native. The GPD Win 5, super impressive what I saw today. Like, wow, this is the future. At the same time, why? Just because you could doesn't mean you should. I don't know.
Science.
Time travel, baby.
It's always for science.
What do you
It's
guys?
time travel. It's
What's
time
your
travel.
favorite?
It's just time travel.
What's your favorite flavor? Way to play Steam
Actually,
games.
this is actually a good question as well, because there used to be, it was always a conversation that came up, and there was always someone that had in their head the maximum size of a handheld. For some people, it's the 3DS or the PS Vita. Is like, nope, that's a handheld. Anything bigger than that's not a handheld. I don't care what you say.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, what for you guys is like the absolute apex of like what you would consider to be a handheld? And what is your preference? Like, what is the smallest one that you would go to now that you've tried all these different form factors?
Oh man, what stops being a handheld? I mean, the Z Flow 13 probably is a right.
Is like too
that's-
much,
now
or
we've gone
just
too
right
far.
for you?
No.
That's too much.
Too far.
That's too
Yeah.
much. I learned that's too far.
I love slapping those telescopic controllers and everything, but that's
Right.
going too far.
You're going too far. You're freaking using 14-inch tablets, man.
I
Just
just feel
slapping.
like, at least for me, the answer is what handheld am I going to bring on the subway? If it's too big for the subway, it's not a handheld.
Yeah. Yeah.
Set up a whole workstation.
I think really I remember when the Steam Deck first came out, everyone's like, oh my God, that thing's so big.
Yes.
Right.
Compared to what we've got today, it's actually like a pretty great size, and it's really not that thick, and it's that feels like the perfect style of handheld.
Fair. And that probably is about size-wise where I'm at. Because the Claw 8 AI, as cool as it is, and the power is great,
You think it's too big?
I think it's maybe a little too big.
No,
Look at this.
dude. I think that's fine. That's fine.
It's right on the edge.
It's like
It's right on the edge.
I feel like the smallest
edge.
in the PC handheld space
Dusty.
is 7 inches. I feel like that's like for a 7-inch screen, that should be like your minimum at this point.
Let's take it back. 5.5-inch or 6-inch screen.
6 inch.
Win 600. Like, come on. Like, this was comfortable.
there could be an argument made for that too. Like
I think this size is nice.
I don't know why you even have this
Look at
device
this
with
thing.
you to begin with.
Because it's
Amazing.
the best handheld.
Amazing.
The best what was the best X86 of 2023? Is that what you said?
I was joking. Like it actually got.
I don't think you
it
were
got
joking.
roasted. Rob started his channel on this handheld.
Oh, really?
This was his whole first year on YouTube. Was this handheld?
Like first 6 months, seriously, was just covering the Winston,
Dude,
Yeah.
that's so good.
showing people what you could do with it.
The screen's not great, but there's something about like playing PS1 games or indies on this handheld. It's nice.
Size and form factor.
What more do you need?
For like Balatro? Play Balatro on
Why-
there. Like
yeah.
82 on there. It's nice size.
Still.
Good for indies. Like,
Still.
I'm still waiting for my dream handheld, which is the whole like an N150-ish type of power.
Oh, okay.
Small size. That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah,
Like
that's why. So even like Bob Wolf was like, he's like, when are we gonna get like smaller, less expensive?
let's go on the
Yeah.
opposite end.
Yeah,
Right? I mean,
he's
that's,
all like I totally get that, and that's been a long coming thing from a lot of people. But I feel like I wonder if we're ever going to. Well, we'll never do that again.
no,
Never doing that.
We'll never go full Anbernic. So,
But like the Win 1, right? The Win 1 was.
oh, that was a tiny, yeah, super tiny, actually
It was
pocketable.
an Atom chip, which no one thought much
Yeah.
of in terms of gaming, right?
Yeah.
So
Netbook-
hold on.
netbooks
So
would like
are
order
you
this,
guys
sure.
saying that like the Z2 Go would be a modern day answer to something like that?
I love the idea of that.
So, because like that's what you're saying, something that's cheaper. Obviously, Lenovo charged way too much for it when it was first released, but it would be cheaper, mid tier, like what,
Yeah,
$400?
I don't think that any expectation could actually materialize. Is what I'm trying to say. It's like
Yeah,
getting,
I know.
and that's why I was always trying to like. I had a conversation with Bob. I'm like, it's not going to happen because people always buy the more expensive thing. We saw it with the Win 5. They're buying the more expensive thing, even though the 385 makes more sense in terms of value.
I saw the Indiegogo for the GPD Win 5. It's going nuts.
Yeah, there's
$700,000 already.
Yeah, it's
crap.
It's
But
crazy.
no one's really buying the 385 one. That's
That's
the
good
funny
marketing,
part.
right? When you have three options, the high, medium, low, it's like, well, the medium is only $100 more, and the
That
high is only
always
$500 more.
works.
And
Yes.
if I'm gonna spend $1,000, I might as well spend $500 more dollars to get the best thing.
It's the super size me.
Campaigns, every single Ayaneo campaign,
You know?
same thing.
Well,
the
that's different
highest.
because the highest one is like freaking ridiculous.
but that's the
it's always
funny
the
thing.
DMG style one that looks
but
nice,
that
and
one
they're like,
goes well,
it's
yeah.
$5,000.
Well, yeah,
That's called price anchoring.
Yeah, but yeah, like that's what I mean is like I tried telling Bob is like no matter which way you always introduce this, and Gabe Newell said it himself when they introduced the Steam Deck, he did not anticipate so many people buying the most expensive Steam Deck, and they did, and that's just what people do is when they presented with options, they're going to navigate weirdly to the more expensive one, even if the price increase doesn't actually value.
Well, you get OLED
Doesn't
now.
scale properly.
Yeah, to the value. Like it's a weird thing that has happened over and over again. And the reality of all of that is that to get
Thanks,
a device that is small, low power, low cost, but good enough doesn't exist in any realm of reasoning, because as soon as you put those stacks of costs in there, all of a sudden people are like, oh, that should be $200. And it's like, okay, here's 200, 300, and 450. And then they buy the 450 one. It's like, well, why'd you do that?
But that means
You
that we're
just
already
told me-
there. We have a $320 Steam Deck.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there,
So
yeah.
wait a year or two. You're going to be buying that top spec model for the base
That's
price.
something that I wish that Valve would actually do, is actually make a Steam. They made a Steam Deck OLED. They should have done a Steam Deck Lite. And I
Yes.
think that
without without trackpads, maybe
Yeah.
just
More
I
compact.
don't think they would ever move away from the trackpad.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
I don't
Probably
think-
not.
There's a lot of people that love
signature.
that.
It's their
Yeah.
thing. Yes.
There's
if
yeah.
they could figure that out, because the chip is already very good for how much power it uses. If they could just shrinkerize that, I think that would be it. I don't think they would do it because I know that they care so much about ergonomics first and size be damned.
well,
But yeah, that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
it'll work.
there is a brand that's done this. We didn't talk about the OneXFly today. The OneXFly is bringing this small form factor. I think great ergonomics with the same, what is it, 7840U in it. I think that's an awesome chip. Even the F1 Pro version, like, why aren't we doing the smaller size from Steam? I don't know.
Mostly it's going to be heat.
Expensive.
For me, you know what I was imagining? Like, we're talking about GameHub, Winlator, right? And there's appeal to it because imagine you could play Windows or PC games on a device that's like the size of a Retroid Pocket 5 or like an Odin 2. But what if we didn't need Winlator and all that to play our indie games and we just had something like this N150 powered handheld that's small, compact, lightweight, doesn't carry a lot of heat, doesn't need a lot of power, that can play those indie games without the translation layer.
Also,
That would be interesting as an alternative to a $300 Android handheld. You have a $300 x86 handheld that's
have you
small.
been following the Decker leaks?
No.
So they do have what looks to be ARM compiled versions of like Cyberpunk and a bunch of other stuff. So
Interesting.
yeah, so this because Deckard is going to be an ARM powered headset that will have an offload to a more powerful one that you can wirelessly stream to, or just do on the device itself. But they have a small cache of games that appear to be ARM compiled. Like there is no translation.
Wow.
They just are natively.
I mean, it's crazy because I've messed around quite a bit with Windows on ARM and using the Snapdragon X Elite, and there's a cost to that translation layer, but it was impressive what it could do. And now imagine if you can improve on that. I'm like,
so that whole thing, like Steam is working on all those layers as well.
Yeah,
so
I know.
if you get to that point where
That's huge.
you can like AYN is SteamOS, then you're like, oh, Christmas, that's actually pretty awesome.
Well, you can run Windows directly on some of these ARM handhelds now.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's interesting. Not that they're great experience yet.
Right, but I think like we're rapidly approaching an area where, especially all the work that Valve has done 10 years for Proton, now they're also standing on the shoulders of giants of all the other middleware stuff.
Right. It's all
3D.
It's converging.
Yes,
we're converging. It's an
yes.
orgy of tech happening.
That's exactly the words that I was going to use.
perfect.
Probably not the same time or ever, but yes.
But yeah, it works.
But then I wonder if we're seeing like ARM compiled games. Like, what does that mean for Apple? Right? Like, we were talking about Apple and their M4 chip before, and we have like our iPhones they have like Assassin's Creed Mirage and Death Stranding,
Apple
right?
Silicon
Like
is
that-
amazing, and it's like it's such a shame because I'm like,
I think
I
that's
just
like
can't figure out where they stand in gaming. For
yeah,
some reason.
they've always been in this
No.
weird spot with gaming for sure.
There's like some placard or something that's like Steve Jobs like just nailed on the wall. He's like, we will never be a gaming company.
They're very selective. There's certain
we
games.
are not Atari.
We are not a Atari.
We come before them in the phone book.
He's just mad because freaking Nolan Bushnell kicked him out of the office for not taking a shower in the 70s.
Dude, but like I mean, like, if they just got like just moved themselves aside, they would be the biggest threat to Nintendo ever.
Totally.
Like,
100%.
I mean, they already have a device on everybody's TV. They already have Apple TV. Just put an
50%.
A19 Pro in that Apple TV.
Hey,
That's it.
you can do Cyberpunk on the M4.
But like, why? Like you go like, oh yeah, you can run the iOS version there, and there's the Mac OS version. So if I buy the Mac OS version, I have the iOS version. Oh, no, don't be stupid.
But that's not an Apple decision. That's the game developer's decision.
But I'm just saying, Apple could totally be like, hey, no guys, we're doing it this way.
Yeah.
And Apple does that. Apple is lock, stock, and barrel. That's
What
the whole.
shocks me is we still haven't seen that convergence yet of iPad OS, for example, and Mac
That's what
OS.
but I'm-
like,
But you look at Apple, it's like they
What are
just
we doing?
do not want to be associated with gaming. They love
I
all
know.
the money they make from all like the
I know, it's a
related
shame.
gaming stuff, and they'll talk about. Dude, I forget which WWC it was. It was like 2013 or whatever. It was like hey,
WCW.
yes, exactly. So Steve Jobs is there, and he's like, oh, awesome news! We now have Steam on Mac. Here it is for 30 seconds. Oh, let me talk about this random company for like 90 seconds, and I'm like, guys, you just speed ran through like Valve, like bringing SteamOS, like Steam to Mac, and you don't care. Like
They did that 2 years ago too, or however long it was. It was recent, where like they had Kojima at the WWDC event, and he's like, "Death Stranding is coming." See ya.
yeah, it's
Like that was it.
but it's like they don't want to be associated with gaming because it affects their image. Like it's like they are aware. Yeah,
They launched
Yes, it is.
the freaking App Store.
that's what I mean. Like today,
The App Store,
cool.
and that's where all this stuff started. And then
mostly
Android
games.
did it,
Yeah.
mostly games. And sure, we can argue, yes, Rob, Engage actually, but they took the ball and they ran with it.
yeah. It seems like anytime like the only thing that Apple's okay with doing is lowercase g gamers. As soon as it's like uppercase G gamers, they're like, oh
No.
this is only lowercase, my friend.
It's fair. Like they clearly are targeting casual gamers. Like they want the Candy Crushes
Yeah.
on their phone.
Yeah.
Like,
Here's some Death Stranding though, just in case you get
And randomly, I'm playing Resident Evil, 7 Biohazard on my iPad Mini.
But I mean, like everyone
natively.
like everyone has lots of people. Not everyone. Very many people have iPhones that are extra capable of running the latest stuff. And
Think about the untapped market. What is it, about 50% market share for iPhones?
yeah, well, US. Yeah.
Hold on, we're talking Apple Silicon. Let's bring in the expert for Apple. We have Andrew from our team here. Andrew, can we pull you into this real quick? Just for the tail end. Just for the tail end.
No, we don't.
Please. Please. Come on.
We have lost it.
Come on.
What it really comes down to
on,
is like,
Andrew.
look at, I mean, ignore that I've got a massive extra battery on my Air, but like the whole phone is in this
We got
fancy
space.
plateau, right? Like this is the whole phone.
Real cozy.
Tight. We're getting
We
tight.
are there. We're like,
We got
Real tight.
what kind of couch, Andrew?
Apple is more than capable of going deeper into that gaming realm because of their chipset, and they're just so far ahead of everything for the A19 Pro, for the M4. Like,
Yeah.
when people ask me what kind of MacBook they should get, I'm just like, I don't know, just get an M1 Air. Like, it's still going to be great.
So so you're daily raw dogging your M4.
I wouldn't call
Mac.
it that.
I see you with your. I see you with those M4s. You're always upgrading the latest greatest. Like, do you game on your MacBook?
Absolutely not.
Do you game on your iPad?
No.
I mean,
What do
What do you use your iPhone for?
GameCube.
I don't.
JIT-less
I use-
GameCube. I'm like,
You're an Apple guy.
I
So much
use
power
a
in
Fold
it.
for my daily and a PC from at home.
What are you doing with the Apple stuff?
he raw dogs it. You just said.
You just
It's a productivity device.
Productivity.
Yeah, people who do work wouldn't just sit and talk in front of a camera.
Now, hey, media personalities are people too. Now isn't Microsoft Surface laptop? That's your productivity laptop. MacBook,
but-
you like go on there to like
My M4 Max
know.
set for lunch.
you go on the Mac.
I told you not to bring me into this.
This is yeah.
But you could with the emulation layer on your freaking Parallels or whatever you guys do over there, Crossfire, whatever it is.
This is old CNN now.
No, he's talking about that old 80s
Like you
little
could-
game that Crossfire.
Do VMworks or whatever it is that you can crossover. Yeah, crossover.
Yes.
So you can game on there. How good is that experience?
I don't game on my Macs. I just
right.
never have.
All right, thanks, Andrew. This has been Andrew.
Figured out I did a video on Switch emulation on a Mac.
Yeah, Rob did a video on
2 years
Switch
ago. I just
emulation.
found out about it last week.
Well, I'm always late to the game.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to awkwardly pivot to the end of this episode. This has been good. We want to hear from you. This has been a lot of interesting stuff. We have varied opinions across the board. Is there still a space for streaming, Andrew, in 2020?
Space left on this couch.
Well, everybody, I want to thank you all again. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share to stay in the know for all of your favorite retro handhelds. And a special thanks once again to our channel members, our patrons, and our subscribers who make everything here possible for us. Perks with our H-Star for as little as
$3
per month.
per month.
Join us in our Discord to chat and play games, and join us on the next episode of the podcast where we're going to be arguing about God knows only what. And stay tuned for our coverage on the Xbox Ally and Ally X very shortly here. I want to thank you also to our co-hosts and guests. We have Phawx.
Yes, it's
Andrew.
Yeah, I'm Phawx. Hey, you can find me on YouTube.
I'm on YouTube at PHAWX TV still.
No, I
Took out the TV?
I don't know where that came
Where'd
from.
the TV come from?
Because on Twitch I wanted Phawx, but it wasn't there, so I just put Phawx TV because
Oh, yeah.
Justin TV or whatever. And
I didn't know that.
whatever. I don't use Twitch.
I didn't hear your whole
Anyway,
story.
Somehow YouTube took that in.
Okay.
And, yeah, it's weird.
That was
so I changed it. Yeah, it's just the Phawx.
I'm glad you're back to the OG. I like that.
I like that too.
Baldly Rudy.
Yes.
Hello, sir. Thank you for joining us today. You have your own mind.
Yeah.
And Josh from Scatterbrain.
Yeah.
Find me at
We're a professional podcast.
Our professional podcast. Until the next one, everybody. This has been Stubbs on behalf of these dudes saying, take care of those handhelds.
Buy my handheld.
And take care of each other, too. Bye.